This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 139 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda. In this episode, I'll give you an update on my knitting progress, which is, again, not very impressive at the moment, but at least I've got one finished project to show you, and a bit of progress, or lack of it as well, on our intended house move to France. And then we dive into Layercake with a celebration of Top Extravaganza, the special offer, the pre-order offer on love tops and tunics, as well as cap tops and tunics. What I'm wearing at the moment is a little bit reminiscent of a cap top, because I'm wearing a cap suit, i.e. a play suit with cap sleeves. So these little sleeve bits sticking out from under the smock that I'm wearing over the top gives you a bit of an idea of what it looks like when you're wearing a cap top or tunic underneath a sleeveless Layercake. But more about that later. I'm going to show you lots of them. First, an update on my knitting. At least one finished project to show you, although it's a relatively small one. In the last episode, I showed you that I had started knitting a pair of socks for yet another pair of socks for my husband. This was a skein of Dirty Dyeworks yarn. Dirty Dyeworks is an American brand. I had bought this skein 10 years ago or so when I visited Rhinebeck in New York State, the big knitting show in America. And I had still not done anything with this skein. I had put it in the de-stash pile that I took to Wonderwool with me. And both my husband and I kept eyeing this skein thinking, I don't really want this to sell, really, because it is really nice. So when he said as well that he really liked the skein, and when Sunday afternoon came along on the show, the afternoon of the second day of the Wonderwool show, and the skein hadn't sold yet, we quickly snaffled it away, and I promised to knit him a pair of socks. So what I did is, because of the colors in it, this kind of dark teal, semi-variegated, semi-solid, I should say, colorway, which varies between a medium teal and almost black, very similar to the dark teal Layercake linen that we have. I decided that it would be nice and it would highlight the variegation in the color by knitting a leg section that has like a checkerboard effect. So it is 4 stitches wide, alternating knit and purl stitches, and then a total of 5 rounds to create almost a square. So 4 stitches, 5 rounds, and then alternating the knit and purl stitches to get the little checkerboard effect. And I did that all the way to the start of the heel flap and turn, and then did the entire rest of the sock in regular stocking stitch. So there is not that extra texture and potential irritation on top of the foot when you're wearing that with lace-up shoes, for example, that you wear a little bit tighter. Then that texture may not feel great on top of your foot. So I only put the texture on the leg. I discussed that with him. The other thing is that these socks are not as long as most of the socks that I knit for him. In retrospect, I could have knitted a little bit longer. I did not think of weighing the first sock when I finished it to see if I could have gone any further, but I just knitted them to a length that I figured I would have enough yarn, because this was a skein of yarn with 350 meters on it rather than 400, which is what I use in most cases. The result as well is that the stitches are ever so slightly bigger. My gauge is ever so slightly bigger. So instead of going for 68 stitches on the leg section and 64 stitches on the foot, I went for 64 stitches on the leg, and then just cast off, reduced the stitches when, as part of the heel flap and turn, just cast off an extra 4 stitches, so that I end up with 60 stitches for the rest of the foot. And because of those 4 extra stitches, the whole instep has got that little bit of extra space, so they fit him really well. They're just not quite as long as I normally do, because I didn't want to run out of yarn, and I also think it's not really worth using up the yarn by connecting an extra section and going upwards. He's quite happy with the length that they are, so one finished project. The other one that I've just picked up again finally yesterday evening is the Cashmere Cardigan that I'm knitting, where I'm copying an existing store-bought linen cardigan that I've shown you a number of times already in the past. A very finely knitted dark blue linen cardigan, and I'm sticking to the same measurements and the same shape for a cardigan that I'm knitting in a combination of 2 very fine cashmere yarns. The one is a single ply cashmere from Art Yarns in a very dark blue chocolate color, dark brown bitter chocolate color. The other is on a cone. This is a yarn that was prepped for machine knitting, so even though it is cashmere, it doesn't feel super soft as it comes off the cone. It probably has some oil in it because it's ready to be machine knitted in a very fine gauge, of course. And I'm holding that together with the dark brown, and it is like a bluey purple, and together these two end up creating a fabric that is almost completely identical to blackcurrant linen. Now, blackcurrant linen is black and a more reddish rather than bluish purple, but the red that is in the dark brown kind of compensates for the bluer purple of this second yarn, and as a result the blend of the two ends up being really close to blackcurrant. I find that very exciting to play with colors like that. And here I'm showing you again, because I haven't got much else to show for my work, one of the little pockets that I've copied with an I-cord running along it, so that I get the same effect of the slightly curled edge of the pocket, and then the inside of the pocket, which is a reverse stockinette stitch, which I have done purely in the purple rather than the purple and brown combined, just refreshing your memory if useful on what I did. The back panel is finished. Those were the 2 front panels that I was holding. I have a first finished sleeve, which is here, knitted from the top down. I still have that on the needle, and I'm going to finish that with an I-cord as well. But what I'm going to do is knit the second sleeve, then put the cardigan together, try it on, and see what I think of the sleeve length as it sits on me. The existing, the old cardigan, if you like, the original, also has 3/4 length sleeves, so I think I'll stick with the 3/4 length, but I want to double check that, so I haven't cast this off yet. Going to finish knitting the second sleeve, put the cardigan together, decide on the final sleeve length, and then finish both sleeves as and when I've decided that. And then, of course, I still also have to knit a very fine button band. The cardigan does have buttons on it and little buttonholes, and I've actually bought from Maggie at Textile Garden already some buttons that I'm going to use for it. They are mother of pearl buttons that have a slight bluey, grey, browny, bronzy hue to them, and again they fit very nicely. They're very subdued in combination with the knitting, so I just need to get my skates on and knit faster. Now, what's going on with that? Why am I not knitting any faster? Because this is the sum total of what I did yesterday evening, about 8 rounds, and that was it. And I find that my knitting mojo is not very high again at the moment. I don't know whether it is summertime or whether it has to do anything with the progress of our intended house move to France. So I will revisit that in a couple of minutes. Let me just update you what's going on with our intended house sale here in the UK and intended, hopeful, move to France as soon as we sell. House move to France. We have had our house here in the UK in Greyshot on the market for about 5 weeks, and we have already dropped the price of the house twice. We are now convinced that the pricing of the house is so much better than any other house in the same price category. And we are doing that to create what I was calling an irresistible proposition. I would like our house to stick out head and shoulders above anything else in the same price category. I think we're pretty much there. And as a result, the number of house viewings that we're receiving has really stepped up. So, fingers crossed that in the next couple of weeks, we will get some people across the threshold that are going to fall head over heels in love with our house exactly the same way that we did with the watermill, the 17th century watermill, converted watermill that we stumbled across in France at the beginning of March. So, it, of course, puts a stupid amount of pressure on us to try and sell our house before the house in France comes off the market. Very lucky for us, the owners of the mill have agreed to keep their house take their house off the market for a couple of months to try and give us enough space to sell our house here in the UK. So what we're hoping is that that's going to work and that that's going to be successful. Of course, the other thing we're hoping is that the buyers of our house here in the UK end up being people who are not in a chain, so ideally who are renting or have already sold their house. But just like in France, really, the housing market here in the UK, at least around us here on the Hampshire-Surrey border, is clearly turning into more of a buyer's market. In other words, there seem to be more houses for sale than there are interested buyers to buy. So maybe it's obviously not as bad as that sounds, but we do get reports hearing from other people who have got their house on the market, as well as from the estate agents, that the market is not as buoyant as they were expecting, despite the very recent interest rate change. So that spurred us on to say, right, so we need to make our house irresistible for people who come and see it and say, my gosh, this house offers so much more than anything else in the same price range. So that's what we're hoping to achieve. And meanwhile, like I told you already in the last episode, we revisited the mill. We met the other half of the couple that are selling the mill to us. That was really nice. We had a lovely lunch with them. And as we left, they said, well, let's hope that things turn out the way we want. We're all in this together, which was such a lovely thing of them to say. They are very supportive of what we're trying to achieve, so that's lovely. And you also saw in that last episode a couple of minutes of filming the mill race that is active and runs underneath the house, and a little bit of an explanation of mine as to how a mill race used to get managed when that mill was operational. So if you haven't seen that yet, take a look at the mill race section of episode 138. But also, I hope it helps illustrate why we're so enthusiastic about that house. So I will, of course, show you a lot more of that house once we know that we actually are going to be able to move there. Meanwhile, we are just in this limbo situation of having to wait and see once we sell the house here in the UK. And I find that quite paralyzing, really. You'd think that any stress I feel around that, I would vent onto my knitting, but it is not what I was expecting. I would have thought that that's what happens, and that I just kind of go into a little bit of tunnel vision, bit of hyper focus on the knitting, and get rid of my frustration that way. But the opposite is true. I end up almost zoning out a little bit and feeling a little bit like paralyzed, bit a rabbit in the headlights, which is not my thing at all. I normally, dissolve into activity rather than the opposite. And I think it's because the only thing that we can control is that we make the house look its best, which we've done, and the price, which we have now made really attractive as well. So, enough about my house selling woes. That's where we are. I'll promise to keep you updated in every next episode. And worst case scenario is that we end up not selling the house at all this summer, in which case we probably have to wait until next spring and then try again. Or that we sell the house much later on in the season, that the mill is not available anymore by then, and that we have to find a different house in France, and that's what we will do. The mill is the current dream, and we do everything to realize it. But if it's not to be, we'll find something else. I'm sure we can do that as well. The ultimate goal, though, doesn't change. We will move to France as soon as we can. So that's it for that update. Let's dive into Layercake and let's look at a bit more in more detail at the different tops that are involved and included in Top Extravaganza. I have made the special offers and the price reductions for this pre-offer as large as I can to try and make the offer as attractive as possible. And I hope you agree and jump in and choose one of your own tops before the pre-order closes this coming Monday, the end of Monday, the 26th of May. Then we will produce, of course, the tops for you at the end of May and the beginning of June, and by the second week of June we should be in a position to have mailed all of them out to you. So without further ado, Top Extravaganza. Enjoy. Top Extravaganza is back. It was a big success last year, late spring, and I'm repeating it because you liked it. The love tops and tunics and the cap top and tunic, all on pre-order for the next couple of days. It's been on pre-order for last week, and at the end of Monday, the 26th of May, the pre-order closes and we'll produce your tops for you. Lovely to wear underneath layer cakes like I've shown here, with a play suit, a pair of overalls, and there's a cap and a love tunic over the top of a pair of high-lows. I need to point out that those high-lows are in the small check, and we've run out completely of small check fabric. So the layer cakes that are still available in small check are the last small check garments that will ever be. I will not reorder the small check fabric because the future of the slow wardrobe is definitely in the balance. So whatever's left in small check, if you want any of it, grab them, because they're the last garments, all a part of the ready to order selection of layer cakes. So I am wearing a size 1 love tunic in hibiscus, and hibiscus is a fabric that we're running out of, but it's very close to the regular red, and it's also to illustrate how a love tunic like this sits in combination with the slackers that I'm wearing with it. I'm showing you some other love tunics, love tops, and then the cap tunic and cap top as well, mainly to show you how they go with different layer cakes and give you inspiration as to how you can wear them in combination of different colors and different styles within the collection. So a love tunic to start with in an exciting color combination, because this is one of the colors that contains the pink that is in magenta, as does the slackers that I'm wearing, which is in lava, which has also got magenta in it, hence the two colors going together, even though I've got one that's more pinkish and one that's more in the orange direction of the spectrum. Moving on, I'm going to step it up even brighter with some blood orange combined with lava, and showing you that in a love tunic that is a size bigger. It's a size 2. So this is the size 1 on me, and I'm a good size 18 on top and a size 20 round my bottom. The slackers that I'm wearing are a size long large, so you can see that those are still roomy enough on me. Slackers are supposed to be really nice and roomy on you, regardless of your size and height. So do always check the fit guide if you're in doubt, or let me know if you've got any questions, and I'm very happy to help. Okay, on to the blood orange. Combination of blood orange and lava, and you can see the size difference on me of wearing a size 2 love tunic instead of the size 1 that I was just wearing before. Slightly lower neckline, of course, because of the same size body being inside, and a lot of more positive ease. The length is about the same as the other one. Any length difference is purely because there's a little bit more circumference that hangs down rather than being filled by me, but you get a good idea of the difference. And in terms of bust circumference, between all of the different layer cakes, there's always a 6-inch difference. So this bust is 6 inches bigger in circumference than the size 1, to give you an idea. And you can see that that still works absolutely fine. Of course, I can then roll up the sleeves if I want, just once as a cuff with that 2-inch wide hemline, cuff line that you have, or you can, of course, keep going and fold them up even further than that. The sleeves are cut in a way that you can do that without them rolling down or looking bunched and awkward. They're quite straight at the bottom, so you can roll them up and turn them into more of a 3/4 length sleeve rather than a bracelet length. Right, keep going. Moving on to wearing the blood orange with a completely different color. This is a pair of baggies in Rivulet in the size a large regular, so quite cropped on me. Lovely loose, of course, because of this size 2 summery outfit in 2 very nicely zingy colors together, nicely zingy colors together for summer, with blood orange, which of course is an orange and a magenta cross weave, and then the Rivulet, which is like a duck egg blue, cross woven with magpie. Let's keep going. I'm going to change this top now. I'm going to stick with one more love tunic, but in a very different colorway, to show you how different a different color can make an outfit look. Back in a size 1 love tunic in the broad blue stripe. We still have some of this fabric left over, so it's included in, well, all of the mid-weight linens are included in this pre-order offer. Some of those, I have very little fabric left. I will double check that before the weekend is over and put an alert on the website if there is a screaming shortage of any particular color, so that you are warned in advance, I hope. With so many colors, it's quite difficult to keep track of. But anyway, a blue stripe love tunic combined with the rivulet baggies, lovely combination. So rather than picking up on the blue in this stripe, of course I can also pick up on the natural. So I'm going to change the trousers and go with the natural in the stripe of the tunic, and therefore make the whole outfit even more light and slightly paler and less bright. This is a pair of baggies of the Cocoon range. I think it's the last pair in long large in the grey color, which is very similar to undyed linen. So very cool, calm and collected outfit. Of course, super comfy with the stretchy jersey of the trousers. And the reason that I'm always mentioning the size of what I'm wearing is twofold. Of course, is to give you an idea of what different sizes, what the sizes that I wear look like on a body of my size. So it gives you an idea of where the sizes sit, but also to let you know that, of course, if I mention something like this and I'm wearing it, it means that I have it ready to ship. So this is a ready to ship pair of baggies. Like I said, I think it's the last one in the long large in the grey. And as you may remember from one of the previous newsletters, the cocoons are not going to be reproduced. What I have left in stock is all there will ever be. So the cocoons are selling through completely, hence running out of colors and sizes. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep these trousers on, but wear them with a much darker top. Here is a love top rather than a tunic. You can immediately see the difference. I think there's either 6 or 8 inches of length difference between them. But other than that, they have the same shape. The back is longer, covering your hips. The front is shorter, showing more leg length, which is especially great if you want to try and emulate a taller stature and not look too short in your outfits. This will help you achieve that with that shorter front and longer back. So this is a love top in, get the name right, black currant, of course. My goodness, I hope I'm going to stay on track with the colors that are coming. But black currant, of course, still a very popular color and very nice to wear with this pale, neutral, natural gray color. And if I would like to pull this outfit together, then of course I can grab one of the fabrics that has got both these colors in it. Here is a Synergy duster in the large neutral check, which, like I said, has got both these colors in it, and therefore pulls the outfit together with these two neutrals, relative neutrals, picking up on the colors in the Synergy duster. Of course, I can go one step further with the outfit and the neutral check by changing my trousers, keeping the top the same. I've added a pair of slackers in the large neutral check to, of course, match with my Synergy duster, and then I've got the love top in the black currant to pick up on the black currant in this check. Let's keep going. I'm going to keep the rest of this outfit the same, but put a longer top on to show you the difference. Love tunic, size 1 in the silver sparkle. A neutral with a silver thread running through it, which of course makes the whole outfit look a bit more festive. It is not too glaring and not too obvious. It's very subtle and still in linen, of course, so it's not super glam, but it does give an extra little zing to the top. With Synergy duster or without, you get an idea of how different the length of the top is and the difference that it makes if you wear one of the long dusters over the top or not, like this. I'm going to keep this on and make it a little bit more festive by wearing it with black next. Baggies in black in the small long size. So it almost has, it's got very little extra fabric around my hips because of my size, like I said, size 20, but it also isn't tight. As you can see, they don't pull anywhere. I still have plenty of space left. So if you like the idea of baggies, but you don't like lots of fabric around you, then try the small size rather than the large size, and then whichever length works for you with your height. Also demonstrating how festive you can make the silver sparkle look if you go for a more classic color with it. And now I'm going to tone this down by doing a little trick with the tops, putting one of the, if I have the right size, I'll need to check, but I think I've got a size 1 love top that I can wear over the top of this tunic so that you just see that length difference peeping out underneath. Let me see if I can make that happen. And here it is. Love top in black in size 1 over the top of a love tunic in size 1 as well. So you can see that length difference, that sweep front and back, the extra fabric because of the A-line, of course, of the tunic. And then, of course, I could play with that silver by creating a cuff here, rolling up my sleeves and bringing back that silver on the sleeves as well as at the bottom. So all of a sudden, by putting those two tops together, I'm creating quite an unusual silver outfit. It's unusual silhouettes, still very simple shapes and quite festive. Add some silver jewelry or a nice silver band in my hair, for example, silver colored shoes even possibly instead of these little black ones, and you end up with quite an unusual and special outfit. Of course you can do this in bright colors as well, but I wanted to play with the silver sparkle to show you how versatile a fabric that can be and how versatile the outfits are that you can make with it. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to take the silver off and just show you the combination of the baggies with the black love top. So here is the love top with the baggies, and again the baggies in the size small long, to show you that in terms of circumference they are still plenty wide enough for me and still give me plenty of room for movement without all the extra fabric if you're not so keen on them being too baggy. Ha ha ha. Right, moving on from the baggies, I'm going to grab a pair of breeches, because I haven't shown you any breeches yet with these tops, and we're more than halfway through, so breeches, here we come. Breeches in the large, long. Lantern breeches is what they're officially called because of that unusual shape that they have, where they clearly show a shaping of the legs to elongate and slim the legs when you look up front, and then they billow out with that unusual lantern shape at the bottom. So in that respect, they really create a long leg, as you can see, especially if you wear it with a relatively short top. But when you see them from the side, you can see that they are really quite wide-legged trousers and super comfy to wear. This is another color where we have run out of the fabric. This is Nightshade, but I do have some breeches left in Nightshade. I think I've got these long large, but I think I also have them in the large regular. Have a look anyway. They're ready for shipment, and I'm showing them next with the, well, first showing them with the black, because I think purple and black are beautiful together, especially if it's such a bright purple. But next I'm finally going to show you a cap top. So a love top with the 3/4 length sleeves like this, and now swapping that from a cap top also in a size 1 with the shorter sleeve. A cap top in size 1 with the breeches, both in nightshade. This is the last nightshade cap top, this size 1. So if you like this combination, this all-in-one, or you'd like to wear this with another layer cake that you already have and it's your size, then grab it because it's the last one. Showing you the back as well, that same graduating hemline that the love top has. The only difference between a love top and a cap top is that sleeve length, where it just covers the top of your arms but gives your arms lots of freedom and sunshine and light when it gets warm out. Let me wear this top with a different color, maybe a color you would not expect. I hope you like it. Spring green together, that bright light, almost towards like flirting with chartreusey green. Fresh cut grass, that kind of, it's zingy. It's really interesting up close because it's got chartreuse in it, of course, but then with that duck egg blue that we like and love, and you get a fabric that looks like it's been dusted with lemon juice. I can't describe it any other way. And that zestiness, that brightness of this color is beautiful in combination with a bright purple like nightshade. These trousers are the regular length and the extra large, so they are even more roomy. Extra large, regular length in the slackers with a size 1 cap top in nightshade. Keep going. Last but not least, the cap tunic. Sleeves short, like I showed before. This is a size 1 again. Longer, has got that same sweeping hemline as the love tunic. Everything the same except the sleeve length. And again, going for same color, top and bottom. I've tried to show that with a couple of the different tops that and tunics that I've shown you today. Just an all-in-one color combination. It always looks so chic and so easy. And then, of course, you combine that with other layer cakes still. So let me just throw on a dress over the top of this outfit. Let me know what you think. Here's a tulip dress in papaya in size 2 long. You can see that it's almost ankle length on me. The long dresses really are long, so check before you order that they don't swamp you. And as you can see, the trousers, those regular length trousers, are almost hidden by the dress. You just see them peeping out at the bottom. So of course I could wear that dress shorter, either in the regular length or even the petite length, which is about knee length on me, so it would look more like a tunic than a dress. But I wanted to show you the full length version combined with a cap top in a different color, both very springy and zingy. And I'm going to add one more garment to it to make that triumvirate complete of having an orange, a green, and then a yellow to make it complete. So either I'm going to show a long duster with this outfit, either with or without the dress. Here we go. Those fresh zingy colors together. This is hay, so it is chartreuse cross woven with a natural undyed linen, so that tones down the yellow a little bit. Still plenty yellow though. And then worn with the dress and the outfit in spring greens, or worn without the dress but still the spring greens outfit. And this being a duster with ties, of course I can either wear it open and show more of the full length of the outfit underneath, or I can tie my ties and wear the duster closed like such. Almost a bit more dress-like or coat-like, and then still have the spring greens at the top and bottom of the outfit. So I hope I've inspired you. I hope you have refamiliarized yourselves with the tops that are part of this top extravaganza pre-order, and you have found something that you like or inspired to find something that you like. Any questions, let me know. Comments, of course, welcome. Thank you very much for sitting through all of this, and I will see you again soon.